Okay. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? What's up, Chris? Big fan of you, buddy. What's going on, Frank? I apologize if my voice and nose are a little stuffy. Been under the weather here, man. Got some mocos. What's going on, the Blessed family? Make sure you go check out their YouTube channel. What it do? 2024 season looking real good. It absolutely is. And just to let you guys know, apparently there's something going on. Um, you have a lot of people talking about Arik Armstead, and from what I heard personally, it sounds like the deal was done. There's a Twitter account by the name of Bonda. He always drops Houston Astros news. He tweeted out a screenshot, but I also heard from someone else earlier today about Arik Armstead being pretty much a done deal today. So hopefully, the guy who told me is proven right. If not, I can't trust you anymore. Who you think we draft? I'm not sure, man. With the moves that we make, it kind of feels like defensive tackle and wide receiver are the way to go with the trading today of Malik Collins and Sheldon Rankins going to, I believe, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Houston Texans are going to need, someone at the defensive tackle spot. That's why someone like Arik Armstead, we've been talking about him for the past couple of days. I don't know who reported it, but apparently there was a potential trade for Malik Collins and Arik Armstead, but that deal didn't get done. So I am just as in the dark as you guys, right? Live in time to break Arik. No, that would be fun. Arik, man, the 49ers asked him to take a pay cut, and he just said, no, I'm going to be a free agent. And I believe he's 30, 31 years old. Um, it's not a question of his play. We know he's very good at stopping the run, gives you something as a pass rushing defensive tackle, moves all over the defensive line. Got that big contract a couple of years ago off of a 10-sack season. Played pretty good in the Super Bowl. It's just right now, the past couple of seasons, Armstead has been dealing with just injuries and has missed significant time. So I would be excited if we did get him. However, you still need to keep on investing into the Houston Texans defensive line. Colts have to pick up that wide receiver because AR-15 ain't nothing. No, absolutely not. Um, do you think Damian Pierce has a bounce back season? I'm not sure. We just know that it was bad in year two. I had put money on him, right? I saw Vegas put out the odds that he was going to have more than 900 rushing yards, more than 6 rushing touchdowns, and I said, let's go ahead and do it. So this is what everyone's talking about, right? Rudy, shout out to you, bro. You're the first person to brought it up. Talking about Justin Jefferson going to the Houston Texans. That's what's been going on Twitter right now. I'm not sure who started this. I'm not sure if people are looking for clout. I myself have not heard anything as far as Justin Jefferson. Bert Steele, however, a former NFL exec, he had tweeted out Texans in on Higgins just 9 minutes ago. He also predicted the Eagles to Barkley move 2 days ago. So there is a lot of smoke right now with the Houston Texans. But I just wanted to come on here, man, and really have a chat with you guys and talk about what the hell went on yesterday. Yeah, so that was the tweet, Philip, right? He said Texans in on T. Higgins. But if you go all over the shout out to Rogue, man. Rogue. Whenever you want to come on the channel, bro, you already know. Yeah, so a lot of smoke and fire, man. So I'm not trusting anything until I see it. The Armstead news, I can't say I heard that the Houston Texans are definitely trying to go get him. But it goes back to, the conversation about the Houston Texans, which was they were poached during free agency. And they're in day one, man. It was a lot of I don't want to say overreaction because at the time it felt like the Houston Texans were just sitting on their hand in day one in free agency, right? You get outbidded for Christian Wilkins, you get outbidded for Saquon Barkley. And I'll say this, if you would have saw the Houston Texans offer that money to Saquon, offer that money to Christian Wilkins, and they accepted it, no one would have had an issue. Everyone would have said, oh, the Houston Texans finally go out there and they spend some money. And the reaction the day one of free agency was crazy. And shout out to everyone on Twitter Spaces, man. Larry and Stanford was on there. Our guy Barrett's on there. Rogue, he is consistent in Spaces as well. A lot of people were up in arms that general manager lost those bidding wars. And the first couple of hours, what's going on, Montego? The first couple of hours, right? You're signing as Lonnie Johnson. You see everyone else making big moves, and you see Lonnie Johnson for the first 4 hours. You're like, what the hell is going on? Then it's Jeff Okuda, and you're like, okay, maybe this is the start of something. Then it's freaking Danico Archer, and you're like, oh, well, this is not, it's not anything to brag home about. But the moves that were made in day one, I don't mind them. And here's what's, and let me know if I'm wrong, right? If you would have swapped yesterday and Monday, day one in free agency, everyone would have, we would have never gotten the, oh, Nick Caserio needs to be fired. This is why CJ Stroud is gonna ask for trading in a couple of years, man. So that was the kind of talk that was happening in day one in free agency. And totally get it. I came on here and said this was underwhelming, and it was. And it kind of felt like Nick Caserio kind of felt like he had to make the Joe Mixon thing happen. It felt like he had to make the Danielle Hunter thing, happen. Not that I'm mad. I think the Houston Texans definitely got better. Let me see if I did answer your question, Rudy. Not sure if you're giving me sarcasm there. Okay, no. So as far as I see, you brought up Justin Jefferson. No, that's the conversations going on right now. So I'm constantly checking Twitter. I'm constantly checking Instagram to see what the hell the Houston Texans are thinking about doing. Would y'all be upset if the Houston Texans grab someone like Justin Jefferson, grab someone like T. Higgins? Hope we get Boyd or Samuel. Samuel might be priced out of our range, man. Gabe Davis really screwed up the Houston Texans' plans at the wide receiver spot, getting that bag from Jacksonville. We should get Hunter Renfrow now. Absolutely. Would not mind that whatsoever. And it also doesn't hinder you from making another move, bringing in a wide receiver, drafting one in a couple of months. T and Jefferson are too much. I don't think anyone will be mad, but right now it seems like that's the buzz going around on the timeline. Not really buying into any of it yet, but it's just exciting to see, right? And the past couple of months, we've kind of seen this Houston Texans team, be talked about in ways we haven't seen in years, right? It was AJ Brown, the favorite to land in Houston. Saquon Barkley, the favorite to land in Houston. Stephon Diggs asking Andre Johnson about the organization and the city itself. When was the last time you've had anyone do that here in the H? That Calvin Ridley contract, it surprised me absolutely. Absolutely. They overpaid for Calvin Ridley. They want to pay Ridley, but they did not want to pay AJ Brown a couple of years ago. Shout out to Jacksonville too, man. They lost that. And I was on the roundtable last night, and if you were there, man, shout out to you. UCF said it. If Calvin Ridley wanted to be a Patriot, he would have been a Patriot. Well, Tennessee just steals him away from Ridley. And Brandon just brings up a great point. Just think about how expensive Jefferson is if Ridley's getting $92 million. It's going to be crazy. You're going to see Justin Jefferson being paid like an NFL quarterback, and no one will say you are wrong for doing that. Not for T. Shout out to the 33 people in this, man. Do me a favor. Sources, trust me, bro. Yeah, man. Um, we're not really, I'm not really buying into all this Justin Jefferson stuff right now. I'm not really buying onto this T. Higgins stuff right now. The Armstead thing, it kind of has some weight to it, but there's a lot of per sources, as my boy the lead Harley said. Per sources. So we will see what is going to happen. It's lion season right now, boys. It's lion season. T. Higgins will be great. I want to see Cedric get more weapons. A lot of D upgrades. What about the O, Ruben? I mean, I think the O took a huge step forward. A third wide receiver is what I think you have to get next. But if you're not excited for this Houston Texan offense, I don't know what to tell you. Joe Mixon is really that dude, and there's no injury concerns. 17 games played this year, 14 games played last year, 16 games played in 21, which is his Pro Bowl year, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 42 receptions, 314 receiving yards, and then the 3 touchdowns on the ground. But he is now going to come into a Houston Texan offense where, I feel like he is the missing piece. I always bring up the fact that the Houston Texans only had three 100 rushing performances all year, and they were all from Devin Singletary, and all of them were victories. So I wonder what type of production we are going to see with Joe Mixon as a running back for the Houston Texans. Not only a threat on the ground, but a threat in the air as well, man. I don't think the offensive line gets touched. We already invested so much over the past couple of years. I think we did sign a tackle today, but it's more of like a depth role. I don't think we draft the right tackle in the first round or second round, as a lot of people predict the Houston Texans to do. But I don't think the O line gets touched. I am excited for the offense, man, because there is a lot of talent. There is a lot of talent, and Nico almost 1,300 yards. I know my boy Rogue does not like himself some Nico Collins. Um, but Tank Dell, him coming back healthy, we heard Harley talk about how good he was all during training camp, all during, the draft process. And we saw that almost 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. Tennessee got bent over by Ridley. That contract is ridiculous. No, man, whoever is Ridley's agent deserves a raise. Deserves a raise. What is going on, Leon? Um, I don't know about Travis Hunter, brother. I think you mentioned Kool-Aid McKinstry just a while ago. Will not mind that at all. Ridley is old. Yes, he is old. However, very fresh. Remember, was suspended for a year. And I think the season before that only appeared in 4 to 6 games, left due to mental issues. So he is fresh, man. 1,000 yards off of a year and a half, almost 2 years removed from football. Another OTA, another training camp. He's going to be right back where he was as one of the best slot guys in the NFL. Bengals grabbing Rankins also means they aren't trying to grab Armstead. No, whenever we saw the move, I think everyone was like, we're going to hear something in the next couple of minutes or hour about the Houston Texans getting someone like Armstead. No moves yet. However, like I said, you go on Twitter, you see everyone talking about, oh, I heard something big is going to happen. Let me see. Cincinnati Bengals themselves tweeted something. Refreshes Twitter. Interesting. I don't know what's going on, boys. But if anything does happen, we will be doing it breaking live with 397 people here. I've seen enough in free agency. I want to see more. I want to see more. Texans hasn't need to pay Nico Collins. He's still in free agency. He will be a free agent next year. Why don't we get Simmons? I wouldn't mind Simmons, but you're gonna have to do something at safety. Mixon doesn't fumble. Absolutely not. Harley Mixon is going to be just dynamic here. Is someone on the Houston Texans wearing number 28 right now? Someone let me know, but he's going to look absolutely deadly in that. I wish we would get Brandon Rice, Jerry Rice's son. I don't know about that one. Let me see. A lot of people in the chat, man. 393 people. Texas need to fight for Rankins. He's going to the Bengals, man. Seems like a lot of DTs go from Texans to Bengals. Yep. Let's talk about Danielle Hunter. Because this was what has a lot of people believing that the Houston Texans are making noise this season. 4-time Pro Bowler out of the past 5 years. He's from the H, right? And according to Patrick Storm, he took less money to come to the Houston Texans to try to win a Super Bowl under DeMeco Ryans. That made me love this signing even more. The league just said, nobody wears 28 perfect, right? Here's someone else from Twitter. Shout out to you, Angel Torres. We get in Jets. I don't know. But there's something going on right now in Houston Texans Twitter where I'm not hearing, but I am seeing T. Higgins. I am seeing Jettas. I am seeing Arik Armstead. So Nick Caserio's cooking someone, cooking something, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, sorry if I'm a little stuffy, man. Got some mocos, man. Sore throat. It's been a weird couple of days, for me as far as health wise. Um, Make sure you guys hit that like button. 408 people in the chat here. I once thank you so much. Only 15 minutes in. Only 15 minutes in. Everyone is wanting to see what the Houston Texans want to do. But going back to Daniel Hunter, 16 and a half sacks this year, 23 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, 2 pass breakups. Daniel Hunter is going to be a captain on this Houston Texans team. And now you are adding one of the best edge rushers in the NFL next to Will Anderson Jr., the reigning defensive rookie of the year. Then you're adding in Danico Autry, who, say what you want, 33 years old, but he just got 11 and a half sacks. I am not predicting a double-digit sack season from Danico Autry, but if he gives you 7 from 8, 7 to 8, that contract is worth it. I am refreshing this thing every single minute, boys. Um, how do you feel about him in that 99 jersey? Look, man, and no matter how I feel about JJ Watt, no one should be wearing that 99 jersey. It needs to never be worn again. JJ Watt, was one of the players that put the Houston Texans on the map. You have to respect them there. No one else should wear 99. No one else should wear 80. And it feels weird when you see someone wear 23. Why are we being frugal with our cap space? We're not being frugal. We just gave Daniil Hunter $48 million guaranteed. Not frugal at all. Watching this from Wahlberg on Westheimer. Let me know what you get, man. I get the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich with either a large Power Red or a large Dr. P. And then the fries medium, a little bit extra salt on them. With Collins and Rankins out, what do you think will happen? I think we will either get Arik Armstead or draft someone at 23. What's going on, Davo? Funky Monkey. Mason, what's going on? Yo, bro, I've been watching you since like 2021. Ashawn is finally on the come up again. No, man, and I do remember a lot of you guys who are in this chat. Don't think I don't. We've grown over the past 4 or 5 years together. So thank you, everyone. I remember when this thing was only at 10 viewers for 3 to 4 hours. So appreciate you guys. And as we get to relevancy, as we get to our first ever AFC championship, our first ever Super Bowl appearance, we all get to celebrate together and, really get emotional because I honestly thought the Houston Texans were going to be on a slippery slope after trading away DeAndre, after the whole Deshaun Watson, situations going on, David Culley, Lovie Smith. Like, I was just, what are we doing? But it changes just like that. And normally you don't really see that happen. You don't see the Houston Texans, have a rookie quarterback who leads the NFL in passing in his first year. Dog, you low key had me laughing with how negative your comment replies went on day one. No, it was ruthless. It was ruthless, and that's fine. I am never. What about Mike Williams? The money has to make sense, but would not mind him being a third option here. We don't really have that much cap left. $26 million, I believe. Please, everyone, click the like button. That is how you help me out the most. 80 is the only number that should be retired. Once JJ Watt gets in the Hall of Fame, then it should be retired. I absolutely disagree, man. I mean, talking about a multiple-time defensive player of the year, bro. One of the only guys with 2 20-sack seasons. No one should ever wear 99. Hunter will be 94 as part of his Twitter handle, and he wore it in college and in high school. Shout out to him. Hey, what do you think they'll go for in the draft? I think it's going to be wide receiver or defensive tackle. So someone like Jerzon Johnny Newton, he wants to be called Johnny Newton now from Illinois, one of the best, if not the best, pass rushing defensive tackle in the draft. Someone like Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat. So that's where I think the Houston Texans will go at pick 23. If it's wide receiver, Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, You couldn't go wrong with any one of those guys. Never been so excited. What a huge splash Nick Casario did. Houston Texans defense looking scary. And yeah, now this is when I want to ask the chat, drop your grade now. How has Nick Casario done so far? This is now day 3 of free agency. Moves are still being made. On Monday, I gave us a C. Flash forward to today, it's now a B with the additions of Joe Mixon and Daniil Hunter. Dr. Pepper is the only soda I drink. Dr. Pepper and Big Red, man. Yeah, go get you some Whataburger. What's going on, YNG? Shout out to you. A lot of comments in here, man. Thank you, everyone, as we are waiting to see what the hell is going to happen. Mario asks, do you see the Houston Texans stay at 23? Do you think the Houston Texans stay at 23? I don't know, man. General manager has been aggressive in the draft. I mean, last class pretty much traded up for everyone except for CJ Stroud and our last pick, I think our safety. I keep seeing Higgins on Twitter. No, you're not the only one, dude. He is coming up every like 20 seconds in the group chats, on the timeline, in Discords as well. Twitter right now is erupting. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, really 3 players are being mentioned right now in regards to joining the Houston Texans, whether or not they are true or not. So T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, and Arik Armstead. Those are names that are flowing around on Twitter right now. It's always day 2 to 3 when Nick cooks. Yes, I saw someone bring that up earlier, right? Uncle Rico is still out there. I'm good on I'm good on Uncle Rico, man. I thought it was under 15 mil after everyone signed. You could be right. I saw uh 26 million. Higgins is expensive pass. Remember, they would have to trade for him. Wonder what type of compensation it will take to get T. Higgins here on the Houston Texans. I believe Nick Casario can make huge splashes in this draft. Brian Thomas Jr., if not Mitchell from Texas. We need speedy receivers for CJ Stroud. I think that's the only thing you need now is a speed demon to really take the top off of. Can you imagine if CJ Stroud had Xavier Worthy and was just throwing it up there, go up there and get it? As we look at the grades, B, A, Nick from this day forward should be given the benefit of the doubt that he knows what he's doing. Say it louder. A. I mean, two days ago, these were all C's and D's and F's, man. Okay, boys. Look at y'all. B's to A's. Brock Coral, someone who follows me on Twitter, he said Arik Armstead by 10 p.m. Central Time. So, but that was an hour ago. We'll see whether that's true or not. See a lot of A's in the chat, man. Glad to see the vibe has really shifted from a negative reaction to day 1 in free agency to, oh, this is a B. This is a B plus. This is an A plus. What's going on out there, man? Puro pinches Texans, man. Hope you guys are having a real blessed day. Make sure you guys are having a real blessed, week, man. Be safe out there. We got to see this Houston Texans team dominate in a couple of months. Freddie, sup, Ruben? How you doing, brother? I'm excited. We're looking pretty damn good. Would like for Nick to add some finishing touches. Absolutely. Maybe another running back, a wide receiver. I really don't know what else Nick could do. I have to see who is left on the board. But a safety would be nice. What are the Houston Texans going to do with Jimmy Ward? If they release him, if they cut him, they save around $5 million. Jalen Petrie, he has such a sophomore slump, but competition needs to be brought in for those 2 guys. If we get Mitchell in the draft at cornerback, we got 2 lockdown corner. Yeah, talking about Quinion Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo. Our boy John Crumpler was at the Senior Bowl. And okay, for example, John Hickman, fantastic job covering the Houston Texans, locked down Houston Texans. He's also on Bleacher Report as well. Just tweeted out, it's a lot going on right now. I don't know, man. What is Nick Casario cooking? And it's freaking 8:39 at night, bro. I don't want to go to bed and have us break some damn news. Chris says, shout out to you, Chris. Went from C minus to B to A minus. Hey, I'll take it. That's what everyone's wondering is what Nick is cooking right now. Now I see someone say maybe everyone's just trying to troll and get the engagements. Um, who knows, guys? Who knows? Woods and Wars need to be cut, in my opinion. I absolutely agree. You save around $10 million if you cut both those guys. Can you smell what Nick is cooking? Shout out to The Rock and what they are doing in WWE. Bro, I hope we get Armstead. I hope so too. I think he is going to happen. Like I said, from that, from the news on Armstead, I got a text message earlier this morning saying that it's a done, that he's coming. So that's what I heard. And then you saw the guy, I think it's Bonda, who really breaks Astros news, posted a screenshot of someone say that the Arik deal is done. Alejandro just tweeted out Justin Simmons to the Texans. I haven't seen that yet. Let's not spread any false news into the chat that's going to get us all hyped up for no reason, please, Bobby. Stingley about to have a hella good year. I agree. Let me see what else we got going on here, boys. I'm fine with keeping Noah Brown as a dead piece. I would have been fine if the Houston Texans would have just let Noah Brown walk. I was very surprised they decided to bring him back, and surprised they did that on day one in free agency. Nikki C is cooking another key. I mean, we got to see. Oh man, I am sick, boys. I am sick. It's been hard doing this. I had a fever yesterday. You know, you get a fever, you get a headache, you get those sneezes that you're scared that when you sneeze, you shit yourself. It's been a rough couple of days, man. The only thing that's been keeping me awake, been keeping me going is Houston Texans free agency. Yeah, Bengals did add Sheldon Rankins. Spreading false information is lame. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wes said Noah was hot for a minute. Yeah, man, he was the only wide receiver besides Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins to have back-to-back 150-yard performances this year. Appreciate it, man. Did you see what the Bengals Twitter posted? I did. I did see that. They were being cryptic as well. Do you think Jalen Peachy will improve this year? Absolutely. And let me see. This is why you guys need to be following me on Twitter at 713 HOU Sports, because everyone is talking right now. Everyone is talking. Let me see, guys. Give me 1 second. I just saw a tweet pop out. Justin, oh, never mind. Never mind. You see, that's me getting hyped, right? But Justin Simmons, all the way back in 2011, tweeted out, "Go Texans, LOL." And shout out to Patrick Storm. He commented, "Yes, sir." That's those scare you. Those get you. And I got fooled earlier, a couple of days ago on one like those. Let me see. I got the same cup, bro. Yeah, man. I always buy the fat ass cups when you go. No, dude, not smoker lungs whatsoever. You guys are assholes. No, dude. I think it was Sunday night. It was chilly outside. I had no sweater, no hoodie. Got cold. It's not the smoke, man. Bengals fans were asking if Sheldon Rankins is good. Like, bro, did you not see bro drop 3 sacks on y'all? No, he was good in his first year with the Houston Texans. Stop playing. Like I said, I had to confirm that. You have to be on your toes, man, when you're on Twitter, because even the guys on ESPN were getting fooled by these fake accounts. Are we going to get a defensive tackle? I think we are. Not only in free agency, but in the draft as well. Someone like Jazon Newton, Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat. We're talking about Arik Armstead. He has now been released from the 49ers, so I think it's only a matter of time before we get him. One Piece is awesome. Shout out to One Piece, man, my favorite anime. Watch the fake Shefty profile. Jeremy Fowler, go for it. Might as well. Do you think we'll sign Armstead? Absolutely. I forgot his name, but when that guy from the roundtable said that Justin Simmons was being traded to the Texans, I jumped out of my seat until he was JK. He said Patrick Surtain, and that was TD who does the YouTube, who does YouTube for the Miami Dolphins. He has like 40,000 subscribers. But no, he was just trying to get us excited for no reason. He had me though. He had me. Danico Autry is significantly better than when Rankinins. Oh, 100%. The only thing that's you're worried about with Danico Autry is his age. So I don't want to go ahead and say he's significantly better than Rankins. However, I think is a better pass rushing defensive tackle. Thoughts on the retirement home wide receiver room in Tennessee? You're gonna have DeAndre Hopkins and you're gonna have Calvin Ridley. That's not bad, right? But it's not, it's not sexy. And with Will Levis, I would have thought the Tennessee Titans would have done more to put talent around them. When they got Tony Pollard, I just laughed. I just laughed and said, "Yeah, that's not gonna get it done." Too many episodes, absolutely not. 1,000. It does not feel like 1,000 episodes, and I thought that too about One Piece. But where did I just get insanely hyped? Oh, well, it was when Luffy, really saved Nami when she went back home and they were at Thriller Bark and he had to fight Arlong, ended up beating his ass. So that's when I was like, man, One Piece is really goated. Autry is fine wine, bro. No, absolutely. If he gives you 5-6 sacks in these 2 years, then the contract was worth it. Let me see. Recipe of the night: crawfish. This is from Roderick Holmes. What will need crawfish water, crawfish seasoned butter, pot, boil them together, and take crawfish out and enjoy. Thank you so much. Dude, a lot of chatter about Brian Thomas at 23 this year. I would not mind that whatsoever. Brian Thomas, a vertical threat for the LSU Tigers, and 17 touchdowns, dude, is absolutely insane. His first year with the LSU Tigers after spending the previous two with the Georgia Bulldogs. He has playoff experience. He has national championship experience. Wouldn't mind that at all. But I like Brian Thomas. Where's the free beer at, dude? I owe 600 people, 700 people a beer. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, I tweeted yesterday, if the Houston Texans get Danielle Hunter, I'll everyone who retweets this, I'll give them a beer. And well, the Houston Texans did exactly that. And I owe about 700 people some beer, man. Get well. Thank you so much. How far do you think we can go? And this is what kept me up last night. Is how far do you think we can go? Because the fan in me, the biased fan in me was saying, oh, we're going to the AFC Championship. We're going to the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust this year. And I had to kind of limit my expectations. However, when you make moves like this, when you get a Danielle Hunter, when you get a Joe Mixon, when you get a Azeez Al-Shaair, those dudes are going to start for you this season, and they're going to play some impactful football. But what's crazy is you already have the foundation. You have CJ Stroud. You have Tank Dell. Maybe Nico Collins is considered a foundation piece if he gets that extension. On the defense, Will Anderson Jr., Derek Stingley, Christian Harris. Those are your foundation parts. So the pieces that we're adding in, it's like the final pieces of the puzzle. And obviously the whole outlier is CJ Stroud. I mean, when it's your first year and you lead the league in yards per game, and when you legit have us believing that this team could have made a Super Bowl run, we were buying the Kool-Aid after that Broncos win. So when you talk about how far do you think we can go, I think really far. I really do. Now, I don't want to say Super Bowl just yet because you have to go to the Empire. You got to go against the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's hard not to think we can go out there and compete with these guys when you have number 7 at quarterback. You also think about the offensive line. They did not play one single game together due to injuries. I think this offensive line is going to get better. I think this entire team is going to get better. You have your coaching staff. You have your coaching staff returning. Bobby Slowick, Gerard Johnson were huge moves, and you can argue that the Gerard Johnson move was just as big as the Bobby Slowick move. Investing into CJ Stroud for 2 more years, putting him in a system that he is comfortable with, and next season when Bobby Slowick becomes a head coach, there you go. Gerard Johnson, you are the Houston Texans' new OC. If you see my eyes going back and forth, man, I'm just making sure we don't miss anything out on Twitter. Thoughts on re-signing Noah Brown? I mean, that doesn't move the needle for me at all. However, welcome back. Hopefully you can stay healthy and make some plays for us. Verlander is looking healthy, coming back from recovery. When the season starts, he should be our RB run. Shout out to Verlander, man. Bringing us a ring, Hall of Famer. I don't care about y'all, but I kind of want a vet corner like Tre'Davious White or Stephon Gilmore. What about Xavier Howard? I mean, we know he has interest in joining the Houston Texans, was officially released today. Would you be mad if he's your number 2 cornerback? What's going on, Peyton? What's the next move? I'm not sure. But you're on Twitter, Payne. You see all the stuff going around right now. All the per sources. Someone's going to make a move. Something big is happening. Johnny said, I'm one of them Crawford box, please. Nah, man. I'm going to buy a case of Topos, a case of Ultras, a case of Dose, a case of Twisted Teas, and a case of Blue Moons. Any season ticket holders here, man, I don't go to the games. I like being home. You need a huge bowl of caldo for that code, man, dude. I hate caldo that ass, dude. I really do. And it goes back to when one time I was little. It was like 102 degrees outside. My grandma calls me in, and I'm thinking it's gonna be, some chicken, some spaghetti, something like that. Stuff that I would eat at 10 to 12 years old. Nah, I'm sweating. She puts a big hot ass bowl of caldo in front of me. Man, I did not want to touch it, bro. I did not want to touch it. Wonder if Nick Casario wants to upgrade the O-line to get better. I don't think the O-line gets touched. If anyone is a season ticket holder and wants to take me to a game, that'll be absolutely fun. At 23, defensive tackle, cornerback, wide receiver, or safety. Not sure about the safety, Wes, but let's say defensive tackle, Jazon Newton, cornerback, Kool-Aid McKinstry, wide receiver, Brian Thomas, A.D. Mitchell. What's the next move? That's what everyone's asking, man. And right now, that's kind of what's going on the timeline right now is what is going to happen. And when you have people, like I said, like seeing John Hinkman tweet that out, he's one who goes on Bleacher Report, a lot of subs on YouTube for Locked On. They just don't put that stuff out there. So even if nothing does happen, I wonder what conversations they were having, if that makes sense. Hollywood Brown agrees to terms with the Texans. That would be, you're adding speed right there. But another 5'9", 5'8" wide receiver, man, we need some meat on our bones. Not too big on the corner we got. I say grab Xavier. And yeah, no, Jeff Okudah definitely does not move the needle for me at all. That move shouldn't hinder you from bringing another cornerback, drafting a cornerback. There should be competition at that number 2 spot between him and Lonnie Johnson. Shout out to Lonnie Johnson, man, for coming back and finishing the story. If Cody Rhodes could do it, so could he. Trade Davis Mills for Fields RB2. Definitely tough schedule coming up. Absolutely. That's why I'm glad we saw Joe Mixon be brought in. I'm glad we saw Danielle Hunter bring in. I'm heading to Vegas in a couple of weeks to place my bid on CJ. Dude, I'm thinking about doing that too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really thinking about putting money for the Houston Texans because I had an opportunity to do it this year and had an opportunity to put $500 on CJ Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year. It was between him and B. John Robinson. And me and my father were right there contemplating, and we decided to not do it. That 500 would have been 10 bands. You would have seen me with a brand new setup, a light in the bag. You probably would have seen me with a sleeve on now. Go with your gut, man. Scared money don't make money. Fuck the Braves. Fuck the Braves. From what I say, from what I saw, $26 million. However, someone said 20. Well, there you go. Coach Cardiac said $21 million. Liv Jonathan said 28. I would 100% be down for someone like Xavier Howard. What about Justin Simmons? Would want that, but you have to make a move at the safety spot. You have to cut Jimmy Ward, which is going to save you about $5 million. Houston Texans got better. And they sent a message to the rest of the NFL, which is we're here. We know what you guys were thinking about us. And what I mean by that is the notion that the Texans are not aggressive in free agency. They are unwilling to make the big move. Should be put to rest by yesterday. Dare I say we should not have any concerns what general manager Nick Caserio has up his sleeve. Do we start just blindly trusting Nick Caserio? Because like I said, day one, it was fire Nick. It was this is the reason why CJ Stroud's going to get traded. It was this is the reason why we'll never take a step forward. And now it's Nick did a good job. Nick knows what he's doing. And we got to have faith. And I wonder how the chat's feeling about general manager Nick Caserio. Hella curious on what the new uniform is going to look like. I am 100% curious as well. Where do you think Jettis lands? I am 100% unsure. Let me see. There's this tweet that was put out 3 hours ago, by Zach Gelb, Gelb, last name, CBS Sports Radio. If I was Justin Jefferson, I would give the Vikings a deadline for a contract extension. And if it's not met, I will request a trade to the Houston Texans. Now, that was 3 hours ago. So I wonder if this is the start of all the something's coming, something's happening, emojis everywhere. Expecting things done right away. W in the chat for Nick and Nick. Yeah, dude, if you think Nick Caserio did a good job, drop the W's in the chat for RGM. This is totally not going to happen, but if you had a pick, would you rather trade a Hall to move up for MHJ or a Hall for Jefferson? I mean, you like the youth of Marvin Harrison, and from what we've heard about him, he's one of the best wide receiver prospects we have seen in a very long time, but or do you want the for sure thing? We know Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, before he, missed some time this year, it was 100 yards a game. Like, that's Madden type stuff. And then you're giving him CJ Stroud. Like, just think of the possibilities. Just think of that. Man, the Vikings would have won a lot for Jefferson. No, absolutely. That's why I don't think it happens. Like, all the stuff we've been hearing the past hour and a half is just something's happening, eye emojis. No one really putting a name to anything, which is what you would expect around free agency, right? It's lion season. I could see Nick taking the number 23 pick and adding some 4, 6, 7 round picks to jump up and go after an offensive player, most likely. I mean, hey, if you want your guy, Nick Caserio, go out and get your guy. We saw it during the draft. Trade it up for Juice Scruggs. Trade it up for Tank Dell. Trade it up for John Minchie. Trade it up for Nico Collins. He is not afraid of making a move. Now, we were having a conversation about whether or not he'll make a move in free agency, and he did that yesterday by bringing in Joe Mixon and 4-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Danielle Hunter. Triple dub. Will Shipley from Clemson is another guy Nick Caserio could look at, or Jonathan Brooks from Texas. Would not mind either of those two. Why haven't we signed Arik Armstead yet? I am not sure, but from what I've heard, from what I've seen on Twitter, it seems like it's a done deal. It's just being, we are just waiting to announce it. If he lands here, there's no excuses to win it all. No, absolutely not. And now after the moves yesterday, there's some pressure on this Houston Texans team now. Because when you do make these moves, when you add a Danico Autry, when you add Aziz Al-Shaair, Joe Mixon, Daniil Hunter, those guys attribute to wins. And now my expectations have risen for this Houston Texans team. Get in to the playoffs. Win your first ever divisional playoff game. Win a game in round 2. Get to your first ever AFC championship. Get to your first ever Super Bowl. Man, I hate Twitter. Maybe Jefferson only if they don't want to pay Nico. I would want to pay Nico. Hunter Renfro, I wouldn't mind that at all. A cheap option in the deal that would not stop you from making other moves. I'm gonna have a heart attack if we land Justin Jefferson. Keep your dreams low, bro. That's all I could say is keep your expectations low. I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does, brother, I am screaming Super Bowl. I am screaming Super Bowl. Armstead is coming. D'Amico knows his ability and what he can do for our defense 100%. Running back Isaac Guerrero and Braylon A. If Armstead is coming here, this defense is top 10 for sure. I mean, it has the potential. It has the potential. You won't be having a heart attack, my friend. I doubt it either. Nico and a couple of picks for Jettas would be crazy. It would. Record predictions for next season. Man, pre-NFL draft, let's go ahead and say 10 wins. Let's say 10 wins. Let's do that. And whatever we do in the NFL draft, ask me one more time. Okay. It's 10. Yes, it is 10, which is when Brock Coral said on Twitter that we would find out the news about Arik Armstead. All I want for my birthday is Armstead. Happy birthday, BC14, man. Hope you're having a blessed one. H-Town Swarm brings it up. I like Armstead. The issue with him is he cannot stay healthy. Huge risk signing him 100%. What you kind of feel good about is he finished the season healthy, played all during the playoffs, looked very good in the Super Bowl. So hopefully he can continue to stay healthy. When he's on the field, I mean, he's one of the best. Now, I'm not going to say one of the best, but a very damn good run defender in the NFL. There was a reason why he was a long time San Francisco 49er. And he wasn't going to be released until they asked him to take a pay cut. The 49ers asked him to take a pay cut, and he said no. Let me see. I think we could even have a top 5 defense. I mean, if you get Armstead, man, you're going to have those conversations. Just some wishful thinking, but I know we ain't getting him. Absolutely. Chivas or America, neither. They both suck. They're bums. Chivas haven't been good since I was a little kid. Word on the street, 49ers and Texans were going to trade Armstead for Collins, but the deal fell through when we got Hunter. That's why 49ers released him. I didn't see the second part about, we didn't make the trade happen because we got Hunter, but I did know we did try to just do Collins for Armstead straight up, but owed a lot of money on his deal, man. I must Pandaline. Shout out to you, Miss Pandaline. You're always commenting on my videos. I love it whenever I see your name on there. Thank you for the comment. Not with that secondary. Secondary needs to be upgraded. We need a number 2 cornerback, and there needs to be something done at the safety spot. Alejandro put the laughing emojis. How is Jefferson even in play for us? I don't know, brother. I don't. But like I've been telling the chat for the past 50 minutes, for what seems like the past 2 hours, multiple Houston Texans fans, Content creators have put out the eye emojis. Something's gonna happen per sources. T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Arik Armstead. I think the Arik Armstead is the more realistic out of the three. But apparently something is happening in H, and Nick Casario is cooking. Now, when there's smoke, there is fire. So I wonder what could potentially happen. But do we hear the news tonight? I mean, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. Let me see. Just replying to some comments there. Yep, love the vids. So you put in the work. Thank you. Yeah, I try to put in a video every single day for you guys. I'm in hibernation on Okuda. John Jonathan just said, don't sleep on Okuda. I mean, dude, let's call it what it is. He's a bust. Former number 3 overall pick. This is not his third team in 5 years. If it doesn't work out in Houston, will it work out for Okuda? But that's also why I like the deal. You're fighting for your NFL career. You're fighting for millions of dollars. Try to do your best. Ruben, how would you have felt if we did the Giants trade an extension for Burns? Nick checked in on Burns. Yes, Nick checked in on Burns at the trade deadline. He also did it recently. Look, he got the bag. He got the bag. And Joey is the main one causing all these problems, man. Shout out to my guy Joey. Joey, how about you let the 884 people in this chat know what you know, man? You're on every group chat, you're on every, Discord saying something's big happened. Let us know your sources, Joey. Come on. It's 23 a corner. I think it's going to be a corner, DT, or wide receiver. If we don't hear anything by 10 p.m., I think we'll hear tomorrow. Absolutely. I think we'll hear early tomorrow. Burns overrated? Absolutely not. So we only had signed David Sharp today. That's all the news we have done. We also traded away Malik Collins to the San Francisco 49ers. Malik Collins getting traded was questionable 100%. That's why we were like, is Armstead coming? Right? And I put on, this jersey. I put on the fitted, and I was like, all right, let me get ready because something might happen in the next hour. Maybe Okuda's a late bloomer. I mean, that's a lot of wishful thinking, bro. That's a lot of wishful thinking. You don't let Collins go without a plan for a 7th. We are redemption central. Think about it. I mean, the first thing that came to my head when I saw the trade, Armstead. What's going on, Alex? Alex is claiming that he knows something too. Titans still not scary. Absolutely not. Burns is great, but 30 mil a year is crazy. I mean, when you're one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, man, multiple time Pro Bowler, you could demand what you want, and he's still only 26 years old. The best is still ahead for Brian Burns. I think we will win 11, maybe 12. I mean, if you do that against next year's schedule, which is going to be absolutely brutal, hey man, you're one of those teams. Titans will still be in last place. I have money on them being in last place. Malik Collins for 7th. We got finesse today. I don't think we did. I think there is a plan in place, and you don't just make this type of deal unless you're gonna do something. Clowney would be an affordable run stopper that we could add on the fairly cheap. Come home, Clowney. Come home. Cody Rhodes is not the only one that can finish the story. Lonnie Johnson too. Come home. I believe going costs way too much and picks just to get Jefferson. Honestly, not worth it when we could get young elite dudes in the draft for sure. But people like that sure thing. Is pick 23 a wide receiver, defensive tackle, cornerback, wide receiver, any one of those. Okuda is 25, bro. Yes, I know he's 25, but you're on your third team in 5 years. You were the number 3 overall pick. So not saying I think he's just going to be shit here. But Okuda should not stop the Houston Texans from bringing in Xavier Howard, from bringing back Steven Nelson if they want to do it, right? Or drafting a Kool-Aid McKinstry, a Quinion Mitchell. Okuda should be fighting for his position. Collins' move was a cap casualty. I don't think so. The cap casualties could have been Robert Woods and Jimmy Ward. What was supposed to happen at 10? Someone had tweeted out that was when we were going to get news that the Texans were going to get Arik Armstead. But like I told you, man, it's lion season right now. Okuda will be solid. Mark my words. All right, man. If I'm wrong, I'll buy you a beer. But I don't want to do that because I owe 700 people a brew. You don't let Wakens rock and still go with the Collins trade without having a good feeling you could get Armstead. That's 100% my point. 100% my point. I think he's coming. Joey said we add Armstead, that D line will be a top 5 in the league. Exactly. And then you have Christian Harris, and then you have Clowney is gone. He is gone. I forgot where he went. I think it was Carolina. Cody Johnson said it himself right now. In our group chat, all of Texans Twitter got sources apparently. I'm not claiming to know anything, boys. If I did, I would tell you. The only thing I did hear, and I'll be honest with you, is the Armstead news, but that was from one of my my close friends who's happened to works over there. When there's smoke, there's a blunt. Hey man, I'm getting kind of sober. We're fiending over here, about to roll up in a little bit, maybe hit a few bongies with a vaporizer. Definitely agree you need competition for a number 2 cornerback. Absolutely. Maybe they made 10 p.m. Central. That's exactly what Brock said. Shout out to Cody Davis for sniffing out the mixing deal. Davis just a fantastic job, man. Cody Davis. I watch him, consistently every single day. Aaron Donald is very excited about something. I mean, who knows? Do you get Okuda QB 2 or 3? One of those two he will be. What's your favorite defensive tackle prospect in the draft? Jerzon Johnny Newton. Should we cut Robert Woods in your opinion? Absolutely. Absolutely. You save around $4 to $5 million by cutting Robert Woods. And with Woods, right? At first I was excited. And the first couple of weeks of the season was leading the NFL in catches on 3rd down, catches on 4th down, really built a connection with quarterback CJ Stroud early. But as the season went on, I feel like we saw kind of the play of Robert Woods really dwindle, and you couldn't rely on him once the playoffs came around. Cassie Fellow said almost 700 strong. Yes, shout out to everyone being in here, plus the YouTube and stuff like that, around 900 and something, boys. Talking great football. We'll be live again tomorrow. Trying to be live almost every single day until the NFL draft. Would you still draft Newton if Armstead signs? Ooh, that's a great question. It'll be hard not to if he's there, right? Because Armstead, it's not a future move. It's a now move. It's a Band-Aid over the defensive tackle spot. Them D tackles from Texas are serious. Yeah. Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat, huge. Woods is reliable on 3rd down conversions. Maybe we should keep him, but restructure his contract. Jimmy Ward comes clutch. I mean, you cannot rely on these two people, bro. And that's kind of my thought process on it, right? Like, if you got a full 17 games from Robert Woods and he gave you 500, 600 yards, I would say I wouldn't mind bringing him back. If Jimmy Ward was able to play in the playoffs, was able to give you significant football time, I would say go ahead and bring him back. But that just didn't happen. And as much as I love Jimmy Ward, do not forget, as soon as DeMeco Ryan signed here, we all said Jimmy Ward was going to come. Right? And I'm sorry, as much as I love you, dude, you trying to hype me up from the sideline when I'm on the field does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. Work, you need to host watch parties next year. You and your boys' energy is literally how me and my homies' energy is during the game. I laugh at y'all reactions every week. I'm gonna try to invite some of you to when I watch the football game in here, man. However, dude, if y'all are weird, dude, I'm gonna just ask you to leave. You feel me? However, don't expect that to happen. I expect to have a great time, man. We're gonna crack open a case. That is the only thing I would require you to bring is 1 12 pack and a large watermelon Red Bull, and that's just for me because we hit the tailgate strong. And man, I'm very close to blacking out right before I hit go live here. So the Red Bull, it really does save me. Uh, you can't trust Jimmy, too injury prone. Absolutely. Are you going to this year's draft party? I'm thinking about it. Thinking about hosting one. But if we do go to the draft party, it's gonna be a scene, right? I'm not sure if any of y'all saw me where at the last one at Miller Lite Outdoor Theater where we drafted CJ Stroud, traded up for Will Anderson Jr. That was a scene. That was a scene. Do it at a public spot. I'm saying, I mean, we could, man, but then they get mad if you show up with like 16, 15 people deep. You feel me? And me, I wouldn't feel comfortable if someone came in late, right? And they had to sit on the other side just because they showed they're late. Nah, 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 man. We're all gonna get fucked up together, dude. Good time, bro. Yes, double up on all skills. Ruko fits DT mode. He absolutely does. Um, don't invite strangers to your crib, especially in Houston. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Um, how about we go up for Xavier Worthy? Could you imagine Xavier Worthy on this Houston Texan offense? 12 packs to help your debt. Yes, 12 packs to help my debt, man. When is the draft? It is in a couple of months. I believe it's 40 days away. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver 3. Let's go ahead and do it, man. I don't know if there's a contract on the table yet or anything like that, but would not mind Curtis Samuel being here on the Houston Texans. He could do it all. Okay. What else? Yeah, H-Town is not the place to invite strangers. I stay over by Pasadena, and I would invite anyone there. I grew up in Pasadena, man. Lived right off of Edgebrook for a couple of years, and moved down by Webster. I stayed on Scarsdale, right by Grace Church. Shout out to Pasadena, man. Shout out to Edgebrook Taco Truck too. April 25th is when the draft is going to start. Curtis Samuel would be a good pickup, a gadget player, but that's what Hutch is to. Let's see him develop. Yeah, no, Hutch. I didn't have any expectations on him this year. I mean, a late round draft pick. I know a lot of people were high on him, and he definitely balled out during training camp. But now you have to have just a little bit of expectations for Xavier Hutchinson, right? Can you become a wide receiver 4, a wide receiver 3 for this Houston Texans team potentially? I hit your messages. These bars love the traffic in the business. We could set this up. I've organized events before at Spawn. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 man. Let's make something happen. Um, about Memorial Park, I'll bring the generator and the gas. We take a little pit out there, some fajita, some sausage, a little bit of wings. I'm down. Did not go to Dobie. I went to Pasadena Memorial, and then I went to another high school. Shout out to Yes Prep Southeast. Is Mixon that much better than Singletary? Absolutely. Absolutely. Joe Mixon, right? Let me bring up his stats right here. So he has in his 7-year career, he has 4 1,000-yard seasons. This year, 1,034 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns through the air, 52 receptions for 376 receiving yards, 3 tutties. Last year, appeared in 14 games, 814 yards, 7 touchdowns, um, 441 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. In 21, he was a Pro Bowler. He had 1,200 yards on the ground, 13 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, 48 catches. 2019 and 18, both 1,100-yard seasons. Joe Mixon is better, is better than Devin Singletary, bro. 100%. Any news on Armstead? Absolutely not. Not yet. Not yet. Hunter Renfro a better option than Tank Dell? Question mark. I think Tank size will be an issue. Tank plays a lot outside, and Renfro is more of a slot guy. So they're kind of used different. What if Nick traded for AD from the Rams? I don't know. I mean, we're talking about hypotheticals here. And when you're talking about AD, Aaron Donald, I mean, I don't know, bro. I doubt that's not gonna happen. I knew I recognized you, bro. Clear Lake, yeah. Also refed in Clear Lake, man. Did a couple of years of ref in high school and football. Let me on the pod one of these days, Joey. Just let me pick a date, man. Let me pick a day. Let me know what works best for you, and then we could get you on. A lot of big things are coming from this YouTube channel. As you guys know, I'm part of the Roundtable Sports, where we do the host the AFC South Roundtable. Something big is coming pretty soon. We'll let you guys know about that. ESPN posted that the Texans are the most improved team in free agency. I mean, duh. When you add in two high profile guys like Mason and Hunter, and then some other key starters like Alshire, like Danico Archie. I mean, I'll even throw in Jeff Okuda, in there for you guys. But the Houston Texans definitely got better. Shout out to Dylan Horton, man. Hope to see him on the field soon. No, yes, the unfortunate news we heard just day one of free agency. Happy to hear that he is trying to come back, man. He's now became one of my favorite players. Pasadena Memorial High School, 2008, baby. Oh my God, you're showing your age, dude. Showing your age, but shout out to Pasadena Memorial. What did Paul Wall and Johnny Dang do with those grills he had ready for Saquon? I mean, they probably gave it to someone else. Can you imagine if we all got one? If we all got a custom grill made by Johnny Dang? Um, we got Dobie in the chat, apparently. I went to Rayburn. Shout out to Rayburn. The Texas logo, just baby blue. Mixon is seriously good at following his blogs. The patience is what excites you. And I have said it since we got Joe Mixon. This type of play at running back, right? You haven't had this type of talent at the running back position since Arian Foster. You know, Joe Mixon last season was one of the best duo running backs in the NFL. And now he is a Houston Texans. Joe is getting a second chance quietly, so yes, he will ball. Joe Mixon, a top 10 running back in the league, 7-8 range. I could definitely see that. Players like Hutch, Pierce, Petrie, and Mechie all struggle to adjust to our offense. I expect them all, either side of the ball, to be improved. You would hope so. You would definitely hope so. Xavier's from my hometown, Fresno, California, Texas fan since 2002. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Dobie class of 2016. What's going on, man? I graduated 2017. Pasadena Memorial High School 2023. Man, we have a lot of people from Pasadena in this hoe. Pasadena High School. Shout out to the Eagles. Okay, South Houston High 96, baby. Okay. Everyone's showing out right now. I love that. And this is what I love about you guys, man. We're H-Town till we drown. H-Town till we drown. Texans on Hard Knocks. I see it. I want it at this point. I wanted it last year. But I understand. You give it to the New York Jets, but all last season, everyone was talking about how much of a surprise the Houston Texans were. And now you're adding in 3-4 new starters. You have a coach who was the finalist for Coach of the Year, the offensive rookie of the year, the defensive rookie of the year, and then you're bringing in a star pass rusher like Danielle Hunter and a Pro Bowl running back like Joe Mixon. You're gonna have everyone's attention. I just don't want the lights to get bright for us. I don't want us to act like our shit don't stink now when we just got into this. Splendor High 07, went to school with Brian Robinson, great Longhorn great and Minnesota Viking. 07, man. 07, dude. I had a PSP and I was playing SmackDown versus Raw, dude. I got to learn the mix and dance right before the season. Yeah, he does a little Dylan Brooks, right? Do you get to see the new jerseys with media tomorrow? Unfortunately, Mr. Joey, I am not media. Wish I am, but that will be coming sooner rather than later. Thoughts on Flacco going to the Colts? Good. With AR-15 playing only 8-9 quarters of football, can you really rely on him right now and say that he can give you a full season next year. And with Joe Flacco, I mean, the comeback player of the year dude was just lining it up, except for against us. Uh, Happy to see Joe Flacco get some love. What's going on from Mo City? A Leaf Hastings, oh nine, dear God. Sam Rayburn High School, St. Thomas High School on Memorial. Um, Rick OG class of 74. Holy fuck. Man, shout out to all my old people in here, man. Age is just a number. Beaumont Central High, 2010. What is going on, Blue Boy? Fine. I'll leave you guys with this, and as we just humble 96, Jesus. Uh, Clear Creek High, 1988. Oh my God. Clean Forest, right? Hope I said that right. Golden Eagles 2016. Man, 2016 was just a year, wasn't it? I mean, you had Lil Uzi, you had the Migos, you had Travis Scott going on. Summer 2016 was just something that I cannot explain anymore. You had the Weeknd just dropping out some bangers every other week, man. Shout out to 2016. You ever stay over by Galveston by the burger joint called Tukey's? No, man. Stayed around the Pasadena area. Really just what I liked food wise was just, Edgebrook tacos, um, the Buffalo Wild Wings on Fairmont, right next to the right next to the I forgot the gym. Maybe it was Fitness Connection or Planet Fitness. Class of 2025. Shout out to you, brother. 89. Summer Creek High School is better. Where's your boy at Harley? Harley, I think, is working. And then my other people, like I said, I'll introduce you to them later. But some big things are happening. Spelled with the H, sir. Apologize. MacArthur High School 03. Jesus. Some of you guys are old, man. Klein High School 1980. Westbury then moved to Barbers Hill 1984. State champ 72, 73, and 74. Mr. Rick got the rings. Sub home, what's going on? Multi-transportational system. Never lived in Houston, so I'm curious, how often do you run into celebrities, famous people? I mean, not often at all. Not often at all. I mean, if you go to the Galleria, right, you might see some Rockets, some Astros, some Texans, but that's rare. Houston's big, man. I think it's fourth largest city in the US. So if you run into a celebrity, you'll probably be like an event, right? I would say though, when I've gone to like the smoke festivals of the 420s at the bars here and there, you'll see some guys there. You go out on Washington. Where else? What's going on, Hashira? We ain't old, we seasoned. That's what Ricardo Sanchez said. I mean, damn, bro. But 1961. 1961. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for the 1,010 people in here, just want to thank you all for being a part of today's live stream. We are going to be back tomorrow as we talk about day 4 of free agency for the Houston Texans. You guys can all find me on YouTube. Just type in 713 Houston Sportcast in the search bar. And ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Have a blessed rest of your night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Dead Shred, you cool with me coming to watch a game next season with you and the boys, as long as you bring a case of beer and a fat ass Red Bull for me.